أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم، وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي وبعد. Alhamdulillah, we give praise and thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for blessing us with another opportunity to sit and to reflect on His word and to be part of the gathering, this gathering of dhikr. As Rasulullah tells us that these are the blessed gatherings that the angels seek. So wherever the believers gather together in houses of Allah and study His word and reflect on His word and to mention His name, the angels come and they gather. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our gathering, make our gathering a blessed gathering and a gathering that will be forgiven. We continue with Surah Yusuf, Surah 12. In our last session, we did up to Ayah 27. So we will pick up from Ayah 28, inshallah, in this session today. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. فلما رأى قميصه قد من دبر قال إنه من كيدكن إن كيدكن عظيم يوسف أعرض عن هذا واستغفري لذنبك إنك كنت من الخاطئين. وقال نسوة في المدينة امرأة العزيز تراود فتاها عن نفسه قد شغفها حبا إنا لنراها في ضلال مبين. فلما سمعت بمكرهن أرسلت إليهن وأعتدت لهن متكئا وآتت كل واحدة منهن سكينا وقالت اخرج عليهن. فلما رأينه أكبرنه وقطعن أيديهن وقلن حاش لله ما هذا بشرا إن هذا إلا ملك كريم. قالت فذلكن الذي لمتنني فيه ولقد راودته عن نفسه فاستعصم ولئن لم يفعل ما آمره ليسجنن وليكون من الصاغرين. The translation reads, so when he saw his shirt torn at the back, he said, surely it is a plot of you women. Certainly mighty is your plot. O Yusuf, turn away from this. And a wife asks forgiveness for your sin. Verily, you were the sinful. And the women of the city said, the wife of the Aziz is seeking to seduce her young slave. Indeed, she loves him violently. Verily, she is in plain error. So when she heard of the accusations, she sent for them and prepared a banquet for them. And she gave each one of them a knife and said to Yusuf, come out before them. Then when they saw him, they exalted him and they cut their hands. They said, how perfect is Allah. No man is this. This is indeed a noble angel. She said, this is the one about whom you did blame me. And I did seek to seduce him, but he refused. And now if he refuses to obey my order, he shall certainly be cast into prison and be of those who are disgraced. So the story of Yusuf continued as it is that when she opposed the wife of the Aziz, when she tried to seduce him and he refused, and he tried to escape from her, and she pursued him and she grabbed his shirt from behind. She grabbed his shirt and he's running away from her. She catch up to him, she grabbed his shirt. And in the struggle, she tore the shirt from behind. And as they reached the door, her husband is coming in. Right? Her husband is coming because he wasn't there. So the husband is coming in. And immediately she sees the husband. Of course she's shocked because she didn't know the husband was going to come at that time. So she's shocked, and immediately she tries to cast blame off of herself and put it on Yusuf. Right? A usual thing. It's not me, it's him. Kind of thing that she wants to do. And right away she went after Yusuf. And it said that someone from her household, and there's a number of, as we mentioned before, there are a number of different reports. One says that it was a child, a small baby, that Allah caused him to speak and defend Yusuf. And others say it was one of her relatives who was one of the counselors or judges in the court. And Allah knows best who exactly it was. And that is not really significant. I don't think it's significant unless you think it was a child. And then, Allah knows best. But this is one position that is found in the books of Tafsir, Tabari, that it was a child. And they said there's a hadith that is mentioned in this context from Ibn Abbas, that it was a child, that Allah caused the child to speak and to adjudicate the whole matter. And Allah knows best. If this is the case, or if it was indeed one of the counselors in the court that actually spoke up. Allah knows best which it was. We're not focusing on it. But he spoke up and he said, if this matter, if you examine the evidence, if his shirt is torn in front, then she is telling the truth. He did attack her, and he's a liar. But if his shirt is torn from behind, then he is speaking the truth and she is the liar. And so this is using the circumstantial evidence. So once they saw the shirt torn from behind, they know that Allah says, وَلَمَّا رَأَى قَمِيصَهُ قُدَّ مِن دُبُرٍ. Once they saw the shirt was torn from behind, قَالَ إِنَّهُ مِن قَيْدِكُمْ. So once this became certain, the husband realized the truthfulness of Yusuf. Yusuf is telling the truth. Right? Because his shirt is torn behind. It means that he was running away from her, and that's how his shirt got torn. Right? He was running away from her. I mean, it's like, some of these shooters you find, people, like that one was in, I think, the officer says, I was afraid of him, but the man was running from him. He shot the man in the back. No, after you shot him in the back, he's running from you. He's not running to you. Right? He has to be running from you. So, and that's circumstantial evidence, which is strong evidence to show that, that this is the case. It supports the argument that this is what happened. So the husband the Aziz, he recognized Yusuf now as he's truthful. You know, he is true. He is honest. He was not just honest, but he is trustworthy. He's trustworthy. There he is in the house by himself with this woman, you know, and she comes after him, and he ran away from her. So not only now is he truthful in the eyes of the Aziz, not only is he truthful, he's trustworthy. He can trust him. You know, he can trust him. Right? And of course, it shows up that she is wrong. So he right away. He rebukes her for her actions. He rebukes her for her conduct. Innahu min kaidi kun. Kaid means to have a plot or scheme, to scheme and to plot and to come up with some ruse or some slyness to make up some conspiracy or something like that. That's what kaid is, you know, conspiracy. You know, the cunningness, you know, so he says, this is of your cunningness. You know, and here he used, notice he said, kaid kun. Alright? Kaid kun. So here, as it shows from the grammatical structure of this, right? It shows that he is talking generally, not specifically about her, he's talking generally. Kunna is plural. He says, if he says, this is of your, meaning her individually, he would say kaiduki. We say kaidukun. Kun was just plural. So he says, this is part of the cunningness of your woman. That's basically what he's trying to say. This is your part of the cunningness of your woman. You're too cunning. Right? That we say, in the kind of kunna azim. In the kind of kunna azim. You're very shrewd in your cunningness. And I mean, this is a reality, you know. That's why we got to be very careful when it comes to stuff like that. You got to be careful how many men get into trouble, you know, because of the cunningness of these women, you know, that happens, you know, that women has the ability to influence men, and you know, he doesn't see what's coming. He doesn't see what's coming at him. You know, that is a gift that women has, that they're able to pull the wool over the man's eye, and you know, he doesn't see what hit him until it hit him. You know, that is one of the things that is the case. You know, that I mean, and when it's used for good, it is good. Right? When it's used for good, it is good. But when they use it for bad, then it's terrible. Right? It is terrible. You know. But this is one of the. So he's pointing to that when he says in the kaida kunna, rather than kaiduki, kaida kunna. And so when he turned to Yusuf and until Yusuf أعرض عن هذا. Oh Yusuf, just turn away from this. Leave this matter alone. Don't be discreet about it. Don't mention it. Don't mention it. Don't say anything about it, and just forget it. Leave this matter. Because here now he sees the trustworthiness of Yusuf. He said, just keep this matter quiet. Because of course you don't want word to get out and bring disgrace to his house. So he said, leave this alone. Don't forget about this. I'm sorry. He's sorry that it happened, but you safe. Just keep it. Just keep this matter to yourself. And see safe. But he turned to his wife and he said, "Wastaghfiri dhanbik." But you need to seek forgiveness for your sin. Right? You need to seek forgiveness for your sin, because as he said, "Kaida kuna azim." It was a great sin you committed. Right? It's a great sin you committed. Innaka kunti min al-khati'in. You are among the khati'in. Khata is based to commit a sin, commit a wrong. Right? And so he says, you're the sinful one. And her sin is great, because first of all, She tried to seduce Yusuf. First thing. She tried to seduce him. He turned away from her. Right? He turned away from her. He refused. He said, you know, my other wives, encryption from you. He want to get, and then he tried to run away. When she proceeded to come towards him, he ran away, tried to get away from her. Right? He tried to get away from her, and she ran after him. So she pursued him and ran after him. And then grabbed at him, she tore his shirt. So that's the third thing she done do against him. She grabbed his shirt, she tore his shirt. And then the fourth thing now, she tried to slander him. Once the husband shows up and catch her out, you know, she wants to slander Yusuf. It's him. He's the one that come after me. You know, what do you say about one who tried to attack your wife? Huh? What you think? So right away, she want to put in the husband's head, Yusuf attacked me. So right now she can slander him. She making false accusation against him. And not only that, she demands, except that he should be put in jail. Or adhabun azim, or he should get a great punishment for it. You need to punish him. So I mean, 4 or 5 things she done committed against the man, and he do nothing. All right. So definitely, he said, you are a sinful person because all this stuff you don't do. As a rule, just to save yourself after do your craziness. Now you try all this stuff to try to make this innocent man. You trying to make it, and that's what happens. It happens so many times. How many innocent people get wind up in jail for maybe half of their life or something over some lie or something, you know. The case with those youngsters in Central Park, Central Park youngsters, they spent half their life in jail, you know, for something they didn't do because this white woman says that they attacked her. You know, so stuff like that, you know, it happens, you know, and how many people that happen to. So he says, you know, you need to seek forgiveness, right? You need to seek forgiveness from, for this, for what you've been doing, because that is definitely something serious you've been doing there. So you need to seek forgiveness from. Somehow the word got out, you know, because it happened in the house. And the people, of course, as we mentioned before, also the narration of the story of Yusuf as presented in the Quran is different from how it is narrated in the Bible, right? In Genesis, how it's related there. That story is a little distorted there, all right? Because according to that, they said that when she told the husband that Yusuf attacked her, as we mentioned shortly, you know, she said that he came after me, and she was, you know, she grabbed his shirt, and he slipped out of the shirt and they ran away, you know. So she had his shirt. She said, see, you know, he got his shirt. That's why he got his shirt. And that's the Bible story. And so the husband believed her. And the husband got mad and he threw Yusuf in jail. That's the Bible story, which is completely different from this thing, from the Quran. And this is what the Quran is about. The Quran is about correcting all these inaccuracies that has crept into the teachings of the earlier prophets. Right? The scriptures of the earlier prophets, the Torah and the Injil. All right? There's so many inaccuracies that's crept in because people keep adding and taking out and changing and adjusting. What have you all the time, you know? Do not like this book to put it out. You know, that's what you got. You know, 73 books in the Catholic Bible, and they got 66, only 66 in the Protestant Bible. You know, then the two most prominent Bibles that they use, the Catholic one, and the Protestant one. The Catholic one got 73 books. And then the Protestant, when they was writing the Protestant book, King James organized that council to write the thing. They sat down and said, "No man, these ones, so they kick all those ones out and put only 73 inside. I mean, only 66 inside, and throw away the rest." I said, these are fabricated stuff. So every column was fabricated. What do you know that these were not fabricated? You understand? And that's when you look at that's why when you look at you take like which is it? One of those older Bibles, the one that's old, the one that really is old, one of the oldest Bibles.
Old Testament?
No, not the Bible itself. No, not King James. King James is not. King James is only 1611. Right, this is before. This one is what is the name of the book? I can't remember. There's a particular version of the Bible that they have. I don't remember. It doesn't come to me in mind right now. But if you look at it, this one, it gives a whole lot. If you look at many of the books, it says, author unknown. Author unknown. You get a copy of that Bible, I have a copy of it. You look at it, so the author unknown. Deuteronomy, possibly Musa, right? Possibly Moses, or somebody else, and stuff like that. Why? Because they don't know exactly what has happened. Because there are no original text existing. Like the Quran is original text, but there are no original text existing anymore. So the changes is difficult for them to know who changed what, and who put in what, and who take out what, and stuff like that, because they don't have original text to match it up against. Like the Quran, anybody come and write stuff and say it's from the Quran, you can just take it right there and match it up against the original text. Right? So you can say, throw it upside in the garbage. All right? So, but this is the case. So the Quran is for that purpose. The Quran, Allah says, وَمُهَيْمِنْ عَلَيْهِ, that the Quran is a guardian for all the earlier teachings, because it gathered kept all the main teachings of the earlier prophets. It's found in the Quran, all the earlier teachings, the teachings of the earlier prophets is found in the Quran, because it's the same message. Right? They taught the same message as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it's found there. So you find that is a correction. Right? As the scholar says, there are three types of texts you find in the Bible. You find those that are in accordance with what the Quran teaches. You find those that are totally against what the Quran teaches. And you find those that the Quran doesn't really say much about it. So it's neither here nor there. Right? That means you can mention it, but you can't stand on it. Right? So this is one of those situations. So the Quran is making a correction here in relation to that. It keeps Yusuf, it shows the loftiness of the character of Yusuf. It maintains the integrity always. The Quran maintains the integrity of the prophets always. So anytime that people put these little things in to make to prolong the prophet and make him like every Tom, Dick, and Harry, the Quran will elevate him back to his status, because the prophets are the greatest human beings that ever lived. People think the prophets are down here like them. So the way people think that, they can aspire and become a prophet. All right? They can aspire to become a prophet. That's why if every time they can call themselves a prophet. Right? But prophets, are specially chosen men. Specially chosen people, specially chosen and selected by Almighty God, and maintained and protected from any evil. Also, the character was always above reproach. The character was always above reproach. They were always considered, even by the peers, the people who they live with, their peers, the people who live with around them. Among their people, there were always people who took to them. The people always looked up to them. They always stood out among their people. So that their people looked up to them because of their standard. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he stood out among his people. He stood out among his people. Right? Even before he declared as prophet, he stood out among them. Same thing with Prophet Isa and Prophet Musa. Prophet Isa came here with a band. Because he started talking from the time he was a baby in his mother's arms. So he stood out right there from the beginning. And Musa stood out. So that was the case of the prophets. All right? So I just want to touch on that particular point because I find that this is so much that they go back with it. So the word got out, and the people and some of the women in the city start talking. وقال نسوة في المدينة امرأة العزيز تراود فتاها عن نفسه قد شغفها حبا. إن رأها من في ضلال مبين. As I said, some of the women, right? Some of the women of the city, right? Some of the women in the city, they said, the wife of the Aziz is seeking to seduce her servant, her house servant. He has impassioned her with love. Indeed, she's a thing. Again, from the grammatical structure of this statement, it shows that there were not just any women in the city. So it was not just the rank and file of women of the city. It was the women of standing. Because here it says that Qala niswatun. Qala niswatun. Niswa, it's from Nisa. Niswatun. So instead of, it is feminine. Right? You notice that niswa is feminine. Right? It is feminine. And then you got feminine, then the verb matches it. So you don't say qala, qala imra'atun. You say qalat. Imra'atun qalat. So it can be because it's feminine. Right? So you can use a feminine verb. Here, it uses a masculine verb, and it uses, even though it's a plural, and it is feminine, it uses hubba. It makes it as though she is, it shows that it is a person of standing. Right? The structure laid out where it shows that she's a woman, that they're people. So it means they're women of the society. Because women, I would say the women of society. That's like maybe the wives of the princes and the people, the upper people in the women in society. Her circle are women, right? So it's not just when it says some women of the city. It was not just the rank and file of the women. It's the women of her circle, right? It's the women of her circle. They started talking about her. Hey, this woman so and that, usual gossip, like the gossip, gossiping, about her. So when they realized that she realized that the women were gossiping, and running stories about her, immediately she took action. Right? Immediately she took action because now here they are thinking of her. So, فَلَمَّا سَمِعَتْ بِمَكْرِهِنَّ أَرْسَلَتْ إِلَيْهِنَّ وَاعْتَدَتْ لَهُنَّ مُؤْتَكَةً. So once she heard, the news reached back to her about what the women were saying, because the women themselves hadn't seen Yusuf. Right? So they didn't know who he was. They just know that he was a servant in her home. But they didn't know him. They didn't see him. Right? So she felt bad when they started talking and stuff, so now she wanted to get back at them. Right? She wanted to get back at them for what they think. So when she's, you know, as it says, فَلَمَّا سَمِعَتْ بِمَكْرِهِنَّ, so when she heard their malicious gossip, أَرْسَلَتْ إِلَيْهِنَّ وَأَعْتَدَتْ لَهُنَّ مُتَّكِئًا. She invited them and she prepared a major banquet for them. She prepared a banquet for them and she gave each one of them a knife. وَآتَتْ كُلَّ وَاحِدَةٍ مِنْهُنَّ سِكِّينًا. She gave each one of them a knife so that they could eat their food, for them to, you know, cut their food with it and eat it. All right? وَقَالَتْ تَخْرُجْ عَلَيْهِمْ. And then she said to Yusuf, come out in front of them. Right? فَلَمَّا رَأَيْنَا أَدْبَرْنَهُ. So when they saw him, they were dazzled by him, and they were amazed, you know, they were amazed at his, and in their amazement at him, they're not paying attention. The Lord struck and it's that rather than cutting their fruit, they going to cut their hands, you know, and this would happen. So I mean, it's basically what the plot that she set out to do. Once she heard the gossip of the people, of these women, and what they're accusing her of, she plotted revenge. She plotted a revenge. I'm going to get back at them. Usual thing. I mean, a woman's scorn is something else. Don't cross with a woman. You know, she get back at you. You know. I mean, Allah bless our sisters. May Allah bless our sisters. You know. But you know, this kills. So she held the banquet. And it said that she decorated the whole place up, and she put couches with cushions and pillows so that they can recline. And so it real nice setting for them, you know. So she invited all the society women to come. She invited all the society women to come. So when they're all, you know, relaxing and comfortable, you know, maybe they're going to eat and whatever it is, when they're relaxing now, she gave each one of them a knife and she gave them fruit. So they got to cut it, you know. It's, some say it was citron fruit, you know, whatever kind of fruit it was. But she gave them fruit, so you got to cut it with a knife. So she gave them a knife and then she gave them some fruit. And she ordered Yusuf to stay out of sight. Right? So up to that point, they still hadn't seen Yusuf. She ordered him to stay out of sight. So when the women now begin cutting their fruit, you know, they're relaxing and they're cutting their fruit and, you know, then is when she ordered Yusuf to come out. Right? When they're busy cutting their fruit, she ordered him to come out. So Yusuf alayhi salam, he came out. So when he came out before them, you know, they were so amazed and astonished at the beauty of Yusuf. The Prophet alayhi salam tell us that on Mi'raj, the night of Mi'raj, he met Yusuf. He met Yusuf in the fourth heaven, I think the fourth. He met Yusuf, and he says, you know, Yusuf was given half of the beauty, half of the beauty of everybody, all human beings. Half of the beauty of all human beings. So I mean, Yusuf is, you know, it's really, he was the most beautiful of Allah's, of all human beings. Yusuf is the most beautiful of all human beings. Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he tells us that the people who go to Jannah, right, in the hadith, he said that the people who go to Jannah will have the beauty of Yusuf. SubhanAllah. SubhanAllah. You know, we have the short of Adam, we have the shape and size of Adam, and its original one. We have the size of Adam, and we have the beauty of Yusuf. Right? And they will be the primary youth. They are permanently in the primary youth. So, yeah, that's why I put us in the Amen. So, when they saw him, they were amazed and so astonished at the beauty of Yusuf. I mean, they couldn't control themselves, and instead of cutting their fruit, they're cutting their hands. you know, some stuff, you know, and they exclaim, you know, they just shout out, you know, may Allah protect us, you know, or we would say, good God, man, this ain't no human being, you know, this ain't no human being, you know, Allah forbid, this is not human being, he is, but he must be an angel, this must be an angel, they freak out over Yusuf, all of that, so now, right away they see Yusuf, and they see what, so now the woman is satisfied, you know, she's satisfied there. Now you see what happened, what was going on. And you've been making stuff over me. I'm going, okay, look at all you, cutting your hands out. Look at you, you know, so she's getting back up there. You know, look at you. You know, you try to condemn me for trying to see. And look at you, cutting all your hands up and stuff like that. You know, so now she get back her thing on them. Thing. So that's why she responded back to them. Call it. فَذَلِكُنَّ الَّذِي لُمْتُنَّنِي فِيهِ. Let's see, you blaming me and stuff like that about this, but look. You know, yes, you blame me over this boy, over this young man. You know, you blame, but look at all you. You know, cutting up your hands and stuff like that. You know, so right away they all freak out over Yusuf. So now we got so Yusuf in trouble right now because it's not just the wife of the Aziz, but all the other women, all the other society women now, you know, it's after Yusuf. So Yusuf in trouble. Yusuf in trouble right now because of that. You know, they're all after him. You know. So this is exactly what she wanted to do, to justify her actions. To justify what she did, why she did what she did. So now you understand what was going on with me. You know you can understand what's happening. All right. Now she can see it when she sits. You know. So because these women now when they see, you know, they can see themselves doing the same thing that she did. Right. So they really can't blame her. You know, they really can't blame her because they can see themselves doing the same thing. Because look at this, I mean, you know, there's an angel here, man. he's not a human being, right? That is how they look at it, you know. And so this is how we should be, you know. This is the one whom you blame me out about, and then is when she put forward her story. And this is when she admit to them, you know, look at Rawa too, and you see, yes, I did try to see the first star son. But he vehemently refused to do it. Right? He vehemently refused to do it. And so she, again, here, before the women of the city, she's bearing testimony to her advances and his refusal. Right? So she bearing testimony, which came out later and think that everyone now say, you know, look, when at the end, when the final conclusion came and the final result come, you know, everyone knows he was good. All the women, everybody could have bear testimony. Now that man is not. He's the most trustworthy person I ever know, man. Because here, all of them now aware at this point is aware of what's happening. And they all can bear testimony for Yusuf at the end. You know, when they come to the end of the story. And so she admits to them that she's the one who went after him and that he vehemently refused to submit or to follow with her. And then she made her statement. She says, "Well, in lam yaf'al ma amuruhu, la yusjanan." And if he don't do what I say, right? If he don't do what I say, he don't, you know, fall in line and do what I say, I'm gonna make sure he go to jail. He will be jailed. He will be jailed. Either he can do what I say or he can go to jail. This is it. He's gonna go to jail, and he'll be the most humiliated person. I can make her look the worst person else. And this is something, I mean, there's a woman scorn, you know, it is serious. It's not like a woman scorn. It's serious. Because here now, Yusuf is as even more attractive than he himself is attractive. Right? He himself is so attractive, so handsome, you know, and attractive. And his refusal to submit to them makes him, you know, I mean, even more appealing. Even more appealing. So, I mean, she's doubling down. She's doubling down on her effort to take control of him, to make him submit to her. She's doubling down on her effort to so if you gotta go to jail and you gotta humiliate him, I'll do it. If you don't submit to me. And this is a serious situation, you know, at that point, that Yusuf in this way, when Yusuf turned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and asked for help. Because now he realized, I mean, this is out of my hand, this is over my head. This one is over my head because he got her, he got all the women there. So, I mean, they all can come at him, it all coming at him. So at that point, I mean, it's like, what you can do? You can't, you know, this way you know. At that point, you turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the shaitan is always, right? And this is why, you know, in social, you always got to always turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, always in circumstances. Some circumstances, we got to know when our habits reach and turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, depend on Allah. And this has happened because if you don't, sometimes, that's it, you get caught. You get caught. You got to watch, you know, if you think, well, you know, I can strike and, you know, you depend on your own strength and your own, you know, moral ability and stuff like that. You know, and then somebody, one of them comes with some cunning stuff and catch you off base. Right? They cunning stuff because, as I said, they have a cunning. There's a real serious cunning with females. Over the prophet, فَاتَّقُوا الدُّنْيَا وَاتَّقُوا النِّسَاءَ. Beware the dunya, beware the women. Right? Because women has a certain impact on men. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made that is not just only the natural attraction, which is a natural attraction between the sexes. Not only the natural attraction, which is there, you know, but the woman has a cunning, they're able to influence the man. As I said, and sometimes, you know, they're able to run game on and he don't even realize what's going on till he get caught. Right? And you want to say, how did they get here? You know, they're able to do that. You know, the special cunning that they have. And that's the best word I can find. I don't know what other word we can use. We say, I don't know what other word we can use, you know, except a cunning that they have. This ability to be able to, you know, come at you in ways and just mesmerize you and capture you, you know, and so you got to be always protecting yourself from that cunning. Always got to protect yourself from that cunning because, you know, especially today, women, you know, because of the standards of morality in the society, you know, women were still more shy and they were not as, you know, they were not an average case where they were that aggressive. Now they're aggressive, like serious. Right? They're absolutely aggressive. You know, so you got to be, you know, always on your P's and your Q's. Because this is unfortunate, you know, that situation to protect yourself from it. Because you don't want to get caught in a situation like this. So Yusuf alayhi salam, he had to turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He turned to Allah to ask for help. Call a Rabb decision. That's when he said, oh Allah, you know, oh my Lord, prison is more dear to me. Right? Prison is more to me than what these people, you know. But if you don't help me, Yeah, I'm a goner. If you don't have me, I'm a goner. And this is where, we learn to depend on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and put our trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think we stop at this point, and inshallah we'll take any quick question or comment before we wrap up. Inshallah next week we're not going to have a session because next week is the day of dignity.
Okay.
Next Saturday is the day of dignity. That's when we have the social welfare program down the city, downtown, in Lincoln Park.
Okay.
In Lincoln Park, it's one of the biggest social welfare events in the city. Right now, the service may be about 2,000 people or so, with all kinds of things, from medical to
Is that the same that used to be here? Right?
Yeah, this is the same event that we used to hold on the street here. We block it off. We took it downtown last year because here it starts to get, we took it down so it can expand and grow. And last year it just went out like that. And we expect it to even bigger this year. Now.
How is it being promoted? How is it being promoted?
It's promoted on, we got flyers out and we got all over social media. Right? And we send it out to the different, send the flyers out to the faith people and everybody. So hopefully people, people come out. And but we want people anyone interested in volunteering, brothers, especially brothers, you're willing to volunteer to come and help. It's good to have, whatever area you can help with, whether it be serving, whether it be security, whatever it is, brothers, you need brothers to step up and help with it. We got a whole pile of sisters who volunteer. They got at least a pile of sisters, so we need some brothers to also volunteer to help with it, So you need to go on the website and sign up for volunteer to help, because it's a big event, a very, very big event, major event. And inshallah, and also pass the word around to Muslims so Muslims can come and benefit from it. Because you get all the medical services is there. We have all the medical vans that come with the screenings. And then we have the young doctors from the university hospital, that comes and actually deal with the people and test with the people and stuff like that. With all the different things that you get, vision and teeth and all that, they come in, the dentist and all that. They come and they usually do their thing. The young doctors in the hospital, they volunteer and they come. And they do things. So we have a good medical staff and team is there that's helping. And then they have food. They give away food hampers, they give away clothing, and they give away coats, winter coats, and they give away all other stuff. They give school supplies. It's a whole lot of stuff. So also tell your Muslims, tell them, brothers and sisters in your communities, that they should also come on, because it's open to everybody. It's Muslim, non-Muslim, everybody.
What time do you start?
Come. They start usually around 11 or so, because they go down to set up. Huh?
The flyers upstairs.
Yeah, the flyers upstairs. They actually start around 11. They come early though, to set up, but they will actually get going by 11. But anyone just come, you gotta go early so you can have them set up and stuff like that. And they go from 11 until about 3:30 in the evening. And they serve all kinds of stuff there. So and then at the end you can get a hot meal, you can get a haircut. It's just about, because they're able to, we sort of partner with all other different organizations, Islamic Relief, ShopRite, Burlington Coat Factory, all these different people, we're able to partner with. So we always look for people to partner with us, and so it's continuing to grow. Now.
Assalamu alaikum wa
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
rahmatullahi. Shukran, Imam. I wanted to ask you something about the ayah. If you could expound a little bit maybe on the tafsir or give something about when they said the women that she tried to seduce him from his nafs, from his self, from his nature, you know, from his character, or what, you know, what did that imply when they said that she tried to seduce him from his nafs?
She tried to take him out of his zone. All right? So that how she came after him. And this is a special kind of woman on how to get you out. You have to come to you normal, you know, you already got your armor on. But they have a way of being able to get under your armor. Right? But it'd be in a very sly kind of way, women are able to do that. They're able to get under your armor and, you know, they get to you, whether it's just you start simplicate, whatever it is they use, something they use. That is you know, it's special skills. I mean, I say women, Allah has given me special skills that they can manipulate men.
Crying is one of the things.
Right? Whatever they get, Allah has given women special skills. They're skills. That's why if they use it, when they use it good, man, they're, you know, excellent. They're able to, you know. But very often women use it in a very negative way. But there are special skills that we don't have. The kind of skills, those kind of skills, we don't have those kind of skills. Yes, you know, you might think, and all way approach it, but they have this soft kind of way of reaching, getting to you, you know. And so you always, that's why the Prophet said, don't stay in a room by yourself with a female that you can marry. You know, because you know, the shaitan has come in and you start whispering to her, to push her, and then you start whispering to you, and next thing you know something going down the road. So you got to be very, very careful. Don't allow yourself to be in any compromising situation with the female. Don't, you know, as long as you can avoid it like poison. Don't be in a compromising situation. And she had him in a compromising situation because one, he's in her house. Two, he is subservient to her, right? Because he's the thing. So she can use her authority over him. You know, so she's using all of these things along with it. Besides, they said she was a beautiful woman too. You know. Zuleika was her name. You know, she was also a beautiful woman. And there's a lot of stories about that aspect. Of course, one of the stories that has caught on with Muslims, which is not correct, that it says that Yusuf later married her, which is a false story, right? There's no hadith, there's nothing to support that belief. But some people actually believe that Yusuf actually eventually married her at the later point, which is not true, because. You know, some woman with that kind of thing, the prophet is not going to be married to
Reputation.
He's not going to go. She flirtatious in the first place, you know. You're not going to marry her this way. You know, she's probably going to want to chase woman. You know, she was not chased. She's flirtatious. You know, so but there are, you know, these stories that flew around and it resonated with some Muslims, so some Muslims do actually believe that he did marry to her at the later stage. But that, at least as I said, is a false story, you know. But the science is important for us to extract the lessons from it, and so we can. But she did get under his armor. She did, and you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why Allah says, Hamma bihi, you are hamma biha. The ham for her, for him, you know, she was, you know, really enamored by him, you know. And he would have, Allah says, he would have given Lola Ra'a Burhan Rabbi, had he not, Allah not given him this, the clear signs for prophethood, that he would have, in other words, in a normal human situation, he would have fallen into it. Because that's how strong she was. She came at him. That's how strong she came at him. That if it was a normal situation and he didn't have the protection from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed him about hand, this strong, he would have fallen. She would have cut him. That's why at the end of it now, when the all this society will come after him now, now this is when Allah here, you gotta protect me from this one. Because it's just not one of them, there's all of them.
Salami.
Right? It's all of them.
So maybe it's the next ayat that talks about Nafsi Amara.
Yes. It's later on he talks about that.
Okay.
I was reflecting from this story as far as, a couple of generations back in American history where the owners of the plantation felt as though they have the rights over, that they own the women, so they would
They did.
They would raid the sheds and do whatever they want to do. So the wives felt as though they could do the same. But when they got exposed, it called for lynching. Because the society, the women of the society would say, you really got seduced by a slave? I read this stuff, I don't know, what I mean? But,
They have a lot of story.
but that would call for public lynching.
Not public lynching, and then they kill them right in the plantation. Beat them to death.
And even if you married a woman on the plantation, the master felt he had rights over that woman because he owned her. So your wife, he could do what he wanted to do with her. He had to sit there, and that reflect right into today's, as far as the social standing that we have with relationships right now.
The effects of slavery definitely is prevalent.
It's right
today.
It's right here.
In terms, especially when it comes to family life.
Because if you look back, it's not that long ago. It's a few generations ago. They try to make it seem like it's long history, but it's just the other day.
It's less than 100 years.
I got elders that told me
It's less than 100 years.
Thank you very much.
It's less than 100 years. It wasn't centuries ago. It's just less than 100 years.
But that called for public lynching right there. They would hang the man and
It was more than a lynching.
Look at him.
In some cases, it didn't reach the case of lynching. It didn't get that far. The master would beat him to death on his farm. Before he carried on, he beat him right there. Because they could gather everybody and make an example of him. Beat him to death. Or put the dogs on him and let the dogs steer him to that. That is real stuff that used to happen.
Because she accused him.
Yes, and all she had to do was accuse him. All she has to do is accuse him. How many? And that has happened throughout even, up to modern times. Right? What happened to Sam Cook?
Emmett Till.
What happened to Emmett Till? What happened to Sam Cook? What happened to all of them? That's why we always tell these people, stop messing with them. Because, you mess with them, that was the trouble, that was the problem.
When their dignity's on the line, they're going to say,
anytime, they'll be running around with the young boy, and the moment, that they can get exposed, they can say, he raped me. We're finished.
that happens in colleges right now.
Yeah, he raped me, so you gotta be careful of that, and outrage.
Yeah, I've heard
While these the black girls, the African American girls, women, they rape them and nothing happens. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's all right. It seems to they accept that. But if it's the opposite, for us, the struggle is outrage, and it's all wrong. But that happened because in slavery it was straight up. The white man owned the woman. He don't own everybody. So he did whatever he wanted to do. He did whatever he wanted to do. You don't say. We as men, I mean, as black men, we don't have no say. That's the reality. We don't have say. We can say we can do anything, but he wants to do. He could have done because he was, as they said, he was the man.
Some stood up and died.
Yeah, and because you're gonna die. If you can stand up, you're gonna die. If you stand up, you're gonna die. That's it.
Oppression is worse than slaughter.
Worse than slaughter, yeah. If you stood up, you died. That was it. You paid for it. And there were some who was willing to do that. You know, there were some who was willing to do that. I mean, that's why so many of us live in the Atlantic Ocean. When they were bringing us over on the ship, our ancestors, when they were bringing them over on the ship, you know how many money of them went up in the ocean?
They said the sharks,
Food, yes.
they said the sharks used to ride behind the ships because people jumped
Yeah,
over.
because those people here, because of it, they're not, they're not accustomed to being enslaved, and they would not accept it. They would not accept it. So the rebel and stuff like that, many of them, they just throw them over. Or some got sick and stuff, they throw them over the board. So they used to feed the fish. You know how much of them went up in the ocean? Many of our ancestors went in the ocean. It's serious, man. And then they come in, you could go straight over. That's why you used to drop our ancestors, the most rebellious ones, you used to drop them off on the islands. Yeah, you go to the islands first and drop the rebellious ones over there. Tell me, that's so much rebellion is over there. Go and drop them off on the islands first. And then bring the warm one and bring them up on some of the outside, the ones up on the side. But it's serious, Willie Lynch, not first Willie Lynch. He developed the system of subjugating the slave. Subjugated them, from his practice on the islands, from the practice on the islands. That's what they did. Because they were the most rebellious. How do you subjugate them? He came with a strong program in the islands that he came and he sold it to the ones up the side.
Let them go against each other.
Yeah, the Willie Lynch thing. It's serious. Allah make it easy for us.
Amen.
Right. Any other point we can make now?
I was just thinking about how, at the root of her action, with the manipulating, making this whole thing up, claiming that Yusuf did such and such, is the seriousness and the severity of lying. I don't know, far too many of us take the seriousness of lying way too lightly. But it's a whole lot more serious than we can imagine. And at the root of it, it was her lying that led to, all of this. Out of all the things that she did, it all entailed lying.
Lying is a terrible thing. The liar is a very dangerous person. Because the liar can get you killed. So it's very, very dangerous. A liar is very, very dangerous.
And it caused so much more harm.
Because a liar can get you killed. Can get you killed or get you locked up for life. So a liar is a terrible thing. That's why Islam condemns lying so much. Because it's a terrible thing. A liar is a terrible person. And a robber is a potential murderer. Right? A robber is a potential murderer. Right? So this is why, robbery is such a serious thing. Because
Why is that?
why is the
Potential murder.
Yeah, because he come in, he comes to rob, he come in to steal, and you catch him off guard, bang, he shoot you. He didn't come there to shoot you, he come in to rob you.
Or if you resist.
Or you resist.
Somebody
Or
comes,
something,
about
He
to
didn't,
get caught.
he
Kill
didn't,
his way out.
he didn't come there to kill nobody, he came in to rob. But things don't go his way, and collapse. He went up killing somebody. So he's a potential murderer. Right? A robber is a potential murderer. So, now, Mikasa, we're going to wrap it up.
Even though that lying is a great sin, and Allah don't like the one who lies, but Islam they have, traditions underlying as well that is missing.
Right, that's the word.
So a lot of people use it out of content,
Right.
but maybe some brothers might not know the position of what's permissible of when you lie, when you can lie.
Yeah.
And the majority of lying is forbidden. It's times in Islam that you can, it's permissible for one to do. So can you explain that a little bit more, for all of us can understand?
Well, I mean, I don't want to go too deep into that because there's a lecture all by itself. But, there are rare circumstances that might permit it, making peace between individuals.
Yeah, that's what
Right? Making peace between individuals, it's permissible to say things that is going to endear one to the other, to bring peace, right? So it is, now he speaks kindly of you, he speaks highly of you, stuff like that, even though you know this person really is. But if it's going to bring, a reconciliation and peace, because the reconciliation and peace is better than war. So you give it as a much more things, stuff like between husband and wife, stuff like that. It is in those circumstances. So the answer, you save the life of somebody, save someone's life. So there's certain circumstances that require you to say a word that is gonna, save a life or make peace or get a couple back together or go to get stuff like that.
You talking about the same thing?
It's permissible, but
content.
it is. There's a term that you use. I don't remember the term that you come
I didn't
to.
remember either, that's why I couldn't.
There's a term that you use that in those circumstances. The term I don't remember the term, but there's a term. طيب سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.